Alright, so subtracting fractions. Same flowchart as before, except instead of addition, you write subtract. So, again, we have our two scenarios. Same denominators, step 1. Subtract numerators, step 2. Step 3, reduce or simplify. If it's the other way, I'll put it up here. If there's different denominators, we're going to go to the right here. This is step 1. If different denominators with unlike, what you need to do is rewrite with the same denominator. Step 2, step 3, and step 4. So we'll call this is A or B. So if you're getting confused, so A, so path A, right down there, and path B here. Alright, so those are your steps, your two scenarios. Alright, so let's look at some examples. Example 1. Well, we're going to be using this path because we have same denominators. Alright? Well, what this does is 3 minus 1, which is 2/4. Now, we have to look and see if we can reduce, which we can. 2 is half of 4, so keep that in mind. So I'm going to divide this by 2. Alright, we have to divide both numbers by the same, and that's going to equal 1/2. And remember, I said 2 is half of 4. That makes sense? It should. So there's one example. Second example. And what do you think it's going to be? It's going to be different denominators, so we're going to be following this path. Okay, so we need to find a common denominator. What I can do is I could take this and multiply it to the other fraction, that denominator. Always this will work. 5/5. And then I'll do this in a different color. Oh, let me highlight. So there's the 5s. Now let's do this 2. I'm going to multiply over here. Right? So that's what's happening. So let's look at what happens here. We got 5/10 minus 4/10, which will equal 1/10, and that's our answer. Done. Next, I have to find common denominators, so then you subtract the numerators. Alright, so now I'm going to have you guys try some. So you try these 3, and I'll pause it here. Alright, here are the answers. If you're stuck, try and follow the steps here. I'll pause it here. If you got anything wrong, you should be rewriting this and rewriting it right. Alright, let's look at a problem like this, where we have a mixed number. First thing I would do is find the common denominator, because there's 2 ways that this could be done. You need to really listen here, because we could start getting this wrong. So my common denominator is 12 between these. So I'm going to multiply by 4/4 here, and multiply this by, we could just forget about the whole numbers right now. You should always be estimating. So a good estimation for this one would be around 6. Alright, so I'm going to recopy. This becomes 4, and I'm going to write that in red so you guys can see the new fraction. 8/12. So that's there. And then the other one is minus 1, and I'll write the fraction in red. So this becomes 3 times 1 is 3, 3/12. So now Alright, so here's the rules. If the second fraction is smaller, you can, so second fraction, I mean that one, is smaller than the first one, you could subtract the whole numbers and fractions separately and then combine, which in this case, it can be done. So I'm going to do this step, this example now. Alright, and then I'll do the third one after. So what I mean by that is I'm going to do 4 minus 1 equals 3. So I've just done 4 minus 1, and that's 3. And now I'm going to do my fractions. So I'll do 8/12 minus 3/12 equals, and I'll highlight that. So I did this minus that, 3/12, okay? Right here. Which is going to equal 5/12. And now I'm just going to combine it. So my answer would be equal to 3 and 5/12. So you just combine it. Done. Alright, now let's look at another one. Alright, so this one I'm going to focus on this example because if the second fraction is larger, make it improper. So let's find a common denominator first. So I'd rewrite this as, I'm going to multiply this by 2 over 2 and this one by 3 over 3. So I'll keep my whole numbers, 3, and the new fraction is 2/6 minus 2, and this fraction is 3/6. Now, this is example 3 because, look, the second fraction is larger. This fraction is bigger. 3/6 is bigger than 3/6 is greater than 2/6. I can't write 2/6. Alright, so there we go. 2/6. So, what am I going to do? I'm going to do this, which hopefully we know, which is 3 times 6 plus 2. So 3 times 6 is 18, plus 2 is 20, so this becomes 20 over 6. So that whole fraction becomes 20 over 6. Minus 2 times 6 is 12, so 2 times 6 plus 3. That kind of helps remember it. So that's 12 plus 3 is 15 over 6. And what are we going to get? We're going to get 5/6 as our answer. Alright? So, I'll pause it here. So I'd like you guys to try these two problems, and I'll pause it here. And here is the work, or how you can do it.